Hey guys, Hikaru aka King of Charmers here. I hope you guys had a wonderful community day. So today's video is going to take a look at Season 2 Great League as well as Season 3 Great League when it comes back. The reason I'm saying Season 2 Great League for Season 2 and Season 3 is because Season 2 still has a week left. So what's a better way to analyze for those of you that are going to play in Great League like this guy right here, because Great League is my best chance at rank 10. I'm 250 points away. So let's hope that in a week, I can push up. If I don't get it, it's fine. But this is going to analyze Great League, early analysis for Great League, because there's a lot of things you can see in Great League. Not really like if you've been playing Great League, which a lot of you that battle likely have been playing because it's the most accessible and it's, in my opinion, the best league now. There's a lot of things that can be looked at. There's a lot of new spice, a lot of new shadows. There's a lot of dark side stuff and a lot of things y'all should watch out for. So we're going to analyze that in today's video. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and post it on the comments below. But let's get started. Alright, so here's a short little, like, rather than do like a picture graph or anything like that, here's just a list. And it's pretty simple. Things that you should look out for. Mud Boys are pretty prominent in Season 2. At the end of Season 2. And when Season 3 starts, you're going to see lots of Mud Boys. Mud Boys are going to come back. They do beat both Galarian Stunfisk and its original form. And you can expect to see them a lot. G Stunfisk is incredibly powerful. If you take a look at its matchups like we're going to see at my PvP poke analysis, there's a lot of stuff that are going to start running around and run rampant. You'll also see the usual main courses, and I call them the main courses because Reggie, Azu, Alt have always been good, and you are going to see them over and over again, and that's not going to change. They are still popular, and they were still really, really good. And now, something you might want to look out for is Shadow Punch Gengar. I don't see it being run in Great League, but Gengar and Haunter are things you should look out for just because a lot of people now have access to good Haunters. Something that really limited Haunter from like being really well, unless you were playing from before with all the Halloween events, you didn't really have a good Ghastly. And now some trainers are probably going to look at flexing that shiny Haunter and that shiny Gengar they got. So you look out for that shiny Haunter to come back to Great League and just start wrecking everything because Haunter is incredibly powerful. You got a lot of variant with it too. And also Shadows. Now the reason I say Shadows and there's a question mark next to it is because Shadows are very dangerous. There's a lot of Shadows out there that came out. Some notable ones are probably Shadow Lapras. Shadow Lapras is very powerful. Shadow Stun Tank is also pretty decent. So expect to see a lot of Shadows come out that were TM'd from before. From the previous Team Rocket event, and just look out for them because you're gonna see everything on this list and more coming up. And let's take a look at the PvP poke analysis, just how it is. But yeah, for general analysis, this is what you're likely going to see a lot, like more than once. Like you're gonna be sick of it, and it's gonna piss you off. But yeah. Alright, here's your PvPoke.com analysis. So Great League Season 3, along with basically Season 2 with everything open. So unless something special changes, Season 3 meta is pretty much going to be like Season 2, where all three leagues are out. And if you played Great League, which I will, you're going to see some new takers. You're definitely going to see something different, and you're going to see some new things that might surprise you, or just some things you should probably look out for. Again, if you would like to contribute to this website that allows us to do all our amazing things, please consider doing so. Alright, so we're going to get to Great League. Go to the rankings, and as you see, Great League, there's one thing that really came here that pretty much absolutely just breaks the meta. Or it doesn't really break the meta, it's very strong against meta. It's actually become the meta now. Galarian Stunfisk. G Stunfisk is incredibly powerful. It's very versatile. As you see here, its matchups are very, very strong. You beat it's your anti-flyer / anti-Registeel / oh wait, you're a Marowak die. That's basically what it is. Now, while Galarian Stunfisk pretty much inserts itself as an anti-flyer, somewhat of a tank, and it kind of destroys, and yeah, it's somewhat of a tank. It's a little tanky. It can tank a lot of things, like it can tank sky attacks. It can basically whatever steel resists. It's not as thick as Registeel, but it's pretty thick. As you see, it loses against a lot of common meta picks. As you see, Swampert, Deoxys Azumarill, all of these. Even Venusaur, you might see Venusaur, but for the most part, the top 4 you will see a lot that are used that in this meta. So what happened? The difference between season 2 and season 1, season 2 was that Mudboy started rising because of Stunfist's cousin. So Stunfist's other cousin, this one right here, really pissed you off because it legitimately broke it breaks the it can break the Reggie core. The keywords can. As you see, you still lose against Azu, but the keyword is can. It can break the Reggie core and still has very strong matchups against a lot of picks. As you see, Haunter, Toxicroak, etc. Because Mud Bomb and Discharge is such a strong moveset. You might still see more of these, but the reason why its number 3 cousin does so much is because it does work against like strong picks as well. But you also add in an anti-flyer in there, like it says here with Altaria and with Tropius, then you got a recipe for disaster. In other words, Galarian Stunfisk is crazy good. Some things you might want to look for. Obstagoon isn't the most broken thing in the world, but as you see, it still is incredibly powerful. You will wall Ghost, so if you get a Haunter that has both, if you have a Haunter that has both Ghost moves, which some Haunters are actually reaching the Sludge Ball variant now, so you have to look out for that. But as you see here, Obstagoon actually beats Galarian Stunfisk, and it has some very strong matchups. Now, of course, you're going to lose against Registeel just because Registeel has Focus Blast, and Registeel with Focus Blast hurts a lot. So it's still very powerful. As you see, Obstagoon still loses against some top meta picks: Azu, Swampert, Altaria, and Deoxys defense. Swampert in Great League is very powerful. But yeah, Obstagoon's another one. Lilligant, where it's not really great at all. People have told me about Lilligant, and I'm like, it's not great. There's a reason it's 345. You win against Swampert, you win against Alt. You win against meta picks, so you can win against some really good meta picks. But Charm without Stab, Charm without Stab isn't really the greatest thing in the world. And you do lose against some heavy anti-meta picks. I'm not saying Lilligant isn't bad, it's just not really something you should really look at, because a Grass that loses to Azu, just because Azu's part Fairy. That's basically what it is. And as you see here, Hidden Power Grass is the #1 move, which is the preference for it, because you get stabbed but yeah, that's the problem. So Hidden Power isn't a particularly powerful move. So that's why it's not that great. You kind of want, that's why Charm's preferred moveset. Charm is what makes it really good against these matchups. But again, like I said, don't roll out Lilligant. So if there's no #1 thing you should look out for, obviously, is Galarian Stunfisk. Now, Galarian Stunfisk rates at number 3 for good reason. It's a great lead. It's strong in every category. Now, you have to be wary about Stunfisk and Tropius. So Stunfisk and Tropius complement each other very well. If you use a Tropius lead, which is a very strong lead, and you use it against Azumarill or Mudboy leads, which will still be coming around a lot. So you will see a lot is basically what you saw when Stunfisk was around. You will see G Stunfisk running around rampant. You'll probably see regular Stunfisk still. Mudboys are definitely going to come back and try to kill you. In other words, there's something called Grass you should probably try and use it, because Grass is really good. I'm telling you guys right now. Remember how Tropius and Galarian Stunfisk rate to core together very well? If you use Stunfisk and Tropius, these two complement each other so well because they beat each other's counters. If you look at Tropius comparison, Azu, Swampert, Deoxys, Detoxys, Squish S. What does G Stunfisk do? Azu, Deoxys, Swampert, Toxicroak. You beat all of its weaknesses. So that's why this core is so strong, because you cover each other's weaknesses. Put a safe switch in there. Add in some extra little flavor where you play where you play to your player style, and you got a very strong and powerful core. G Stunfisk and Tropius core is going to run rampant all over Great League. And it might actually even shift the meta, so with Great League coming back, be very aware of how the meta is going to be. It's anyone's game. Or not really anyone's game. If you have really good players, you're going to play really good players. You still can play around. That's what Great League is for. The great thing about Great League, it's not like Masters, and it's not like Ultra League. It is incredibly powerful. It is, yeah. It basically players are the most powerful thing. You can still lose leads and good players will still win. It doesn't matter if you lose lead. It doesn't matter if you lose switch, etc. In Great League. In Great League, it's who the best player wins. Sometimes there are situations where you can always get hard countered, but in Great League is a lot of favorite leagues, especially for me. It's also my favorite league now because of the variety and the fact that player skill matters the most in Great League. Because there's nothing in Great, in Ultra or Master League compared to Great that's extremely powerful to where you can't play something spicy. I proved that wrong with Typhlosion and the Tropius core. So my Registeel, my Mega Beam team. As you see, Registeel is incredibly powerful still. It still beats a lot of things. Galarian Stunfisk versus it, it's not a bad matchup. As you see here, if you do Galarian Stunfisk, so if you do Stunfisk versus Registeel. Hold on, I have to look for it over here. There you go. And then you put Registeel. It's still not a losing matchup. You can still beat a Registeel. Registeel still has a chance to win. So you swap it around, Registeel. If you see this situation, Registeel can still win as long as it has a shield. Why? Because you block Earthquake. See? Focus Blast still does heavy damage. That's not a lot. So as long as you can land a Focus Blast on Stunfisk, you aren't completely safe against Registeel. Registeel is still a monster, and Registeel is still going to be very prominent in this meta. As you see, their stat products aren't too different. What makes Registeel so dominant is its absolute hard-hitting defense. Defense is incredible. But as you see, you still can win against a Stunfisk, so don't feel too comfortable. As long as you have a shield, you can be a Stunfisk with shield advantage. So Registeel still isn't opt-out. That's why Registeel is still the #1 pick for Great League, because it's just that good. Also, Azu obviously loses against a lot of picks still. Tropius, Cresselia, no, etc. But you still win. You still have a... So Azu and Reggie, the Azu-Reggie core is still very, very powerful. In fact, Altaria kind of took a whip down. Altaria used to be #3, but now it is #4. But don't get me wrong, Altaria is still very strong. As you see here, Dragon Breath will still do heavy damage. So if you do Stunfisk versus an Altaria, or not really Stunfisk, G-Stunfisk versus Altaria. That around. We're in this sim. You can still win. As you see here, at the end of it all, actually, you can still win, but it's gonna be it's a long hurdle. You lose all shield scenarios because of Rock Slide, so I take that back. Galarian Stunfisk versus Altaria is very, very strong compared to Registeel. Registeel, you could still lose against an Altaria. As you see, as long as you have 2 shields, you can still beat an Altaria. And Stunfisk, where I was wrong, Stunfisk actually can still... Stunfisk just bodies you to death. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's still a way you can win. If you do enough damage, you can pull off a W. For example, you still have 53 health yet. Now, that's a huge hurdle to climb, but as long as you could... If you have a near-dead Stunfisk, you can still win. As you see in the 0 shield, you're left with 41 HP. So if you can deal a little bit of damage, you can still take out Stunfisk. But that's just why Stunfisk is so powerful. Like I said, that's what you really have to watch out for. There's not really a lot of like there's still a lot of spice. Obviously, you can spice everywhere. But as you see here, Cresselia with Grass Knot is also an interesting pick because you beat some solid picks. Also, Swampert, Altaria. That's if you have this one. If you have it, which you should, it's not bad. It's really not bad. It's still, that's why Cresselia with Grass Knot with some matchups. As you see, you flip Mudboys, Swamperts, Altaria, etc. If you do land the Grass Knot against a Mudboy, it is going to hurt a lot. As you see here, Cresselia, and then you put against a Mudboy, which is Swampert, which is one of the common Mudboys. Hydrocan Mudshot is very fast. As you see here, you win a lot of shield turners. The only one you lose is 0-2. So otherwise, you have to have 2 shields. Other than that, you will get yeeted by a Grass Knot. As you see here, it does an insane amount of damage. Almost all of the poor Swampert's health is gone, like GG's. And that's a good IV one. If your IVs aren't the greatest, for example, if you do this, if we change the options and we put its starting HP at even just 3 HP down. So if you have even if you are 3 HP away, watch, you win all shield scenarios. Well, ciao! Well, except the 2s, of course. But as you see, you just die. Your 1 Grass Knot will take out all of your HP. As long as they can as long as it's like 3. So 3 damage, you don't live, you're dead. That's basically what it is. You are dead. You're dead. So that's basically what you have to look out for in a summary. As you see here, G-Stuff Fisk is of course to be reckoned with. Cresselia still good, but not as good as you think. It's powerful. It's very powerful. You can build a team around it, and it's still very strong. But just be careful, as you see here. Compared to its Ultra League cousin, you still lose against some really strong picks. You can get walled against Registeel. Registeel will wall you if you have Cresselia. And it even loses against Marowak because Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball and Grass Knot and Moonblast are both resisted by Alone Marowak. So that's something else you have to look for. And surprisingly, you lose against Umbreon because Umbreon will outpace you with Foul Play, and it does heavy damage because Cresselia isn't as thick as it is in Ultra League. That's another thing to look. One more thing to look at is probably Shadow Machamp. As you see, it's number 10. Shadow Machamp is very interesting because as a lead, look how strong your matchup against Registeel is. 915, you are pretty much dead. Shadow Machamp has some strong picks. You even beat Altaria with Rock Slide. You beat Alone Marowak, Stunfisk, even though you resist Alone Marowak. Counter is pretty much like a charm. It's just that good. Plus, Cross Chop. Well, Cross Chop is a great bait move. It only takes 5 counters to get to a Cross Chop. And then Rock Slide isn't too far away. I believe Rock Slide is 45 energy. So Cross Chop and Rock Slide aren't too far from each other, and Cross Chop can do some damage, especially with Shadow Boost. As you see here, Machamp rocks. It does. And we're gonna have we will see the now another interesting pick, or the last one really, is as you see, Swampert gonna swamp. Swampert literally gonna swamp. As long as you don't encounter any of the above over here, Swampert is going to do work. Just be very wary because Swamperts do die to one shot. Most leaf moves, as you saw, like with Grass Knot, with Cresselia, will kill it. So just be very careful. Your Swampert will be crying for help. Another interesting pick is probably Mantine. Mantine is 100 as a lead. In fact, it's probably one of the strongest lead because, as you see here, you beat Altaria, you beat Swampert, you beat Scarlet Tropius, and Alone Marowak. You lose against some key picks over here. Azumarill, Registeel. Registeel, you actually lose the matchup against Registeel. Like I said, make sure you have plenty of practice, but be very careful because Mantine is good of a lead as it is. It still has some great weaknesses, but it's an incredible Mon. So that's another thing. Basically, 1 through 15, look at it. And don't bring that. That's evil. This is pure evil. You should never bring this in your line. You see this? Never. Never bring this in your line. Never. Even though you beat all these good picks, never bring this. This is evil. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. But anyways, I'm gonna run a training sim real quick. I'm gonna train sim real quick, and we're just gonna put some random lines, and we're gonna put a great lead. So I'm gonna lead with a. So I'm gonna lead with a red. Let's see. What's a really? We'll lead with Mantine. Well, not Mantine. What's a really good lead? We'll lead with Swampert. We'll do Deoxys D as a safe switch. And then we'll close with a Galarian Stunfisk. Actually, we'll do Registeel as a closer. And then we'll go into Great League. And then I'll just do a battle real quick, just to show you just how Mudboys are still really good. As you see here, we get Wish Catch versus Swampert. Now, this is very dangerous because either side can win, but we're just gonna straight Hydro Cannon. I'm gonna wait. Okay, we get a Azumarill. This is great because I'm going to wall the crap out of you with a Registeel. Well, you don't exactly wall Azumarill, because Hydro Pump still does just Hydro Pump chunks. But Registeel has a very strong matchup against the Azumarill. And now we have hopefully what we can do here is break both shields and then put it together. But as you see, Azumarill and Mudboys are still very prominent, and they're still really good. Like, yeah, Mudboys beat Galarian Stunfisk, and they both beat regular Stunfisk. As long as you can get those Hydro Cannons, those water moves, those blizzards, or those ground moves through. Because Galarian Stunfisk is still steel. So ground moves do work against steel Pokemon. Ironically, even though it's a ground type, it's because of the steel type that gives it its strength, but also its weakness. As you see here, we do call the Ice Beam. Now my opponent is going to shield the Flash Cannon here. I am electing to shield now. I can expect this to be a Hydro Pump, or I get debated. Yep, it's the Hydro Pump. So we do call the perfect. We call the bait, and we get the big hitting move. So I'm going to Flash Cannon. I'm going to be careful over here because my opponent might elect to switch, and then we're just going to Flash Cannon through. As you see, Registeel very strong against Azumarill. It's even though Reggie stuff is I kind of call it like Registeel 2.0 just because it's spammy and it has still somewhat of the bulk and it's still very strong. What makes Registeel such a strong pick is the fact that it has access to Focus Blast, because Focus Blast fighting has so much coverage across the spectrum that it's very dangerous. So as you see here, we grab both shields, we get the Wish Cast, we're just gonna swap back into our swapper here, and then just double Hydro Cannon away. I probably should have fired a Focus Blast here, just so I could take it out. That double combination would take out this Wish Cache, but we're okay here. As you see here, Hydro Cannon still do heavy damage. Swampert still a good Great League pick. It's in the top 10 for a reason, and it's very, very powerful. As you see here, it almost takes out the poor Witch Cache. Now, Witchcrack is probably going to Blizzard us. That does neutral damage, though. But we're barely going to survive. Well, it's still a decent chunk. We can farm down. Now we're just going to farm down the Witch Cache here. Witch Cache has now been farmed. Now they're probably going to send in the Azu. Unless they have something in the back that actually destroys this Swampert. Like a freaking Venusaur Fire! Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's crap. Oh, I didn't get that off. It's okay. It's okay. That's bad. That's bad. Actually, this isn't that bad. Okay, so we get a Venusaur versus a Deoxys D. We know you have the Azu in the back. We know you have Azu in the back. So all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to double Psycho Boost, but I'm going to be worried because my opponent might elect to switch. 2, 3, fire. Perfect. Psycho Boost does heavy damage here. Yeah, it does a lot of damage. As you see here. It doesn't quite KO, but we combo in with the Flash Cannon. This will take out the Venusaur, and then that Azu has to throw its energy at us. But this is okay. As you see here, we combo in with the Registeel. We take out the Venusaur, which still is a very good pick, and this Azu has to throw its energy, or you die. And then here we go. We get the Ice Beam. This takes us out over here. And now I'm just going to do a little more counter damage, and then I shall Psycho Boost. And that is GG's. Took out the Azumarill, and that's Psycho Boost Deoxys D is an amazing pick. As you see, takes out the Azu, barely takes out the Azu, and then now we take it out. There you go. Managed to take it out. As you see, Mud Boys are still good. Azu is, of course, an incredible safe swap. Anywhere an Azu is dangerous. And Venusaur. Yeah, Venusaur. But that's our PvPoke.com analysis. Then we go on to the summary. Alright, so just a summary. There's going to be a lot of options. Like, I would go back to the chart and take a look and see if you have any questions about anything. Or if there's anything I possibly missed that you can let me know about. But if you have anything, please put in the comments. Like from Season 2, there's a lot of Mud Boys, and just in general, Stunfisk is still dangerous. Even if you use the ironic thing is that Stunfisk, the original Stunfisk, can actually be its Galarian cousin because of Mud Bomb. So you're going to see a lot of really interesting things. So Great League got a lot more viable. But that doesn't mean player skill goes away, guys. Great League is arguably the best league because that's where the spice can come out and player skill matters so much. Great League is where there are so many catch and sack opportunities, and there's a lot of things that can work because it's Great League compared to Ultra and Master League, which was definitely which pretty much they cement themselves as the two worst leagues at this point. Because there's very little spice, and everything in both leagues is either a lottery pick, as in you got buffs and debuffs, or they're just all obscenely overpowered. For example, Dialga / Metagross. Anyways, that's my video. Again, if there's anything you want to let me know about, please put in comments. If you have any questions, let me know. I might be able to find out about something. But like I said, Great League coming back is great because now everyone can come back and play because all of y'all have Great League Pokemon. And I can't wait to see what Great League has in store for us. You guys have a wonderful night. Have a great day. And I will see you on the next video.